Hi friends, welcome back to a new session. In the last few videos we discussed basics which are necessary for understanding electrical machine subject. See, I already told you please watch the videos in the I told you one sequence. You please try to watch the videos in the same sequence which I told. Once again I am just saying the sequence. First to watch introduction where I had given you syllabus. Next basics related videos, next transformers related videos, induction machine related videos, synchronous machine related videos, DC machine related videos, then special machines. Okay, now in this session, in this video I am just going to start transformers chapter. So in transformers chapter also I am just going to take these topics, nothing but definition, features and working principle of a transformer. Okay, right, please tell me guys, what is the definition for transformer? Okay, what is the definition for transformer? You please try to see that figure. Please try to see this figure. Let me take a transformer core on which I just wound two windings. Please try to observe. I am having a transformer core on which I just wound two windings. This winding can be called as primary winding. Why I am calling this winding as primary winding? The winding which is connected to the source is called primary winding, and this winding can be called as secondary winding because this is the winding which is connected to the load. The winding which is connected to the load can be called as secondary winding. As I told you, please remember, in basics also I told in the last video only I explained it. The correct nomenclature for windings in transformer is low voltage winding and high voltage winding, not primary winding and secondary winding. Because you said definition for primary winding means what? Winding which is connected to the source is called primary winding. Winding which is connected to the load is called secondary winding. Suppose if a source and a load are disconnected, then it is not possible to justify primary winding and secondary winding. Therefore, correct nomenclature is a low voltage winding and a high voltage winding. Anyway, in our discussion we will be using terminology like primary winding and secondary winding. But in examination point of view, please remember you should not go for primary winding, secondary winding terms. You should go for low voltage winding and high voltage winding, because in some exams they may give for 1 mark point of view, what is the correct nomenclature for windings in a transformer? Option A they will give low voltage winding, high voltage winding. Option B they will give primary winding, secondary winding, like that. So among A and B, so option A is correct. Low voltage winding and high voltage winding is correct. But in our discussion we will be using primary winding and secondary winding, no problem. So in this figure, please try to see guys. In this figure I had taken it's a primary winding, it's a secondary winding. So primary winding has number of turns N1, secondary winding has number of turns N2. So the supplied voltage was V1. Generally which type of supply will be giving to a transformer? Time variant supply. Nothing but AC voltage source will be connecting to the primary winding of a transformer. Then immediately transformer will take one current. What is that current? IMU. IMU can be called as magnetizing current. That name itself suggests it is used to magnetize the transformer core, or it is used to produce flux in the transformer core. Is it clear? So because of the IMU current, whenever voltage source is time variant or AC, current taken the transformer IMU will be time variant or AC. Flux produced in transformer core will be time variant or AC. Then I already discussed in basics videos. That's why I asked you first to watch basics videos. Okay. So rate of change of flux linkage will be possible here because pi is time variant. EMF will be induced. That EMF only we called statically induced EMF, which I already discussed in a basics video 1. Okay. So in transformer, so because of a relative time variation between conductors and magnetic field, static EMF will be induced. In relative time variation, conductors will be stationary. Yes, in transformer conductors are stationary only. And magnetic field is time variant. Why magnetic field is time variant? Because current taken of the transformer is time variant. Why current taken of the transformer is time variant? Because source voltage is time variant or AC voltage source. Is it clear? So EMF will be induced here. same flux will go from primary winding to secondary winding through transformer core by mutual induction principle. Here that flux links with secondary winding also. Here also rate of change of flux linkage will occur. EMF will be induced. That EMF only I call it as E2. Okay. So E1 means what? Primary winding EMF. E2 secondary winding EMF. N1 primary winding turns. N2 secondary winding turns. V1 applied voltage source. I1 primary winding current. I2 secondary winding current. V2 load voltage. So first tell me what is the definition for transformer. Tell me guys. Transformer is a static device, means we don't have any rotating parts in transformer. Okay, it's a static device which transfers both voltage and current. Nothing but it transfers power from one side to another side. Okay, it transfers power from one side to another side without change in the level of power and frequency. There may be change in the level of voltage and current. That means while transferring power from one side to another side, ideally how much power you are giving as input to the transformer, same power you should get at the output side of your transformer. There should not be any change in power. Okay, that's why transformer can be called as constant power device also. Okay, and see, frequency also should be same. Example, after connecting voltage source, while transferring power from one side to another side, in the meanwhile here EMF is induced in primary winding. Here also EMF is induced in secondary winding. Suppose here applied voltage source having frequency F, here primary winding EMF will be having frequency F, and here also secondary winding EMF also should be having same frequency F, because here our loads will be designed for frequency F. Okay, source is F, source voltage having frequency F. Our load, which whatever loads are there, those loads are operated on F frequency. Let us assume that it is operating on F frequency. So in the meanwhile, whenever transformer transferring power from one side to another side, if there is any change in frequency, definitely loads will get damaged. Is it clear? So please guys, there should not be a change in frequency. That's why transformer can be called as constant frequency device also. Okay, so first of all let me write a definition, whatever I just told, let me write on the board. You please, in the meanwhile you also you can write in your notebook. Okay, so definition: transformer is a static device which transfers power. I can write in bracket voltage and current. It transfers both voltage and current. Transfers power from one circuit to another circuit. From one circuit to another circuit without change in the level of power and frequency. Let me write in short, power means P, without change in the level of power and frequency I am writing it as a F. Without change in the level of power and frequency, comma, there may be change in the level of voltage and current. Is it clear guys? Is it clear? Right. Now see, in previously in one PSU they asked one question, transformer transfers. So option A they had given voltage, option B they had given current, option C they had given voltage and current. You should go for option voltage and current. It transfers power. Okay, both voltage and current. Okay, so next what I said, while transferring from one side to another side, there should not be change in the level of power and frequency. There may be change in the level of voltage and current. Example guys, if you take a step up transformer, you please try to see that name itself indicates that step up means what? It is step up the voltage. Okay, so when compared to primary voltage, secondary side voltage will be more. Okay, so first in step up transformer, secondary voltage E2 will be more than primary voltage E1. Is it clear? Then there is direct relation between EMF and number of turns. You might have known already, E proportional to d by dt of n pi. That means rate of change of flux linkage. So obviously EMF is directly proportional to number of turns. Okay, we'll discuss anyway in future. I'll derive relation between EMF and number of turns. We'll get direct relation anyway. E2 greater than E1 for step up transformer. So obviously secondary turns will be more than primary turns. Is it clear? Next. And one more thing guys, while transferring power from one side to another side, what I said. So ideally, how much power you are giving as input to the transformer, we should get same power at the output side. That means transformer can be called as a constant power device. Constant power device means for in a step up transformer, if the secondary voltage is more, secondary current should be less, then only power will be constant. Yes or no? So if I write E2 greater than E1, here I should write I2 less than I1. Is it clear? Next, what about in step down transformer? In step down transformer, step down, once again, that name itself indicates that secondary EMF will be less than primary EMF. Okay, so I can write here E2 is less than E1. Since EMF and number of turns are directly related, I can write here N2 less than N1. Since transformer is a constant power device, if secondary voltage reduces, so secondary current increases. So I2 will be greater than I1. Is it clear? Okay. Next, let me give one small note here. Small note. Tell me guys. I said transformer is a static device, right? It's a static device. Static device means what? We don't have any rotating parts in the transformer. If there are no rotating parts, what about mechanical losses? Mechanical loss nothing but friction, windage losses. Friction and windage losses together can be called as mechanical losses. Whenever rotating parts are absent, mechanical loss will be absent. Since mechanical loss are absent, efficiency of transformer will be very high, around 98%. Okay, I can write here as a note, efficiency will be approximately how much? 98%. What is the reason guys? Since simple, I can give only one simple reason here. Since rotating parts are absent. Since rotating parts are absent, okay, therefore whenever rotating parts are absent, come on, what about mechanical losses? Mechanical losses. So generally mechanical loss means friction and windage losses together can be called as mechanical losses. Is it clear? So since rotating parts are absent, mechanical losses will be equal to how much? 0. That's the reason efficiency will be high, around 98%. Is it clear? This is definition. So we had seen definition here. Next, features of transformer. Is it clear? Features of transformer. Let me see features of transformer. Features of transformer. Tell me guys. I think in basics video I explained, in one video I explained like synchronous machine, DC machine can be called as double excited machine, whereas transformer, induction machine can be called as single excited machine. So can you please tell me what are the features of transformer? First point, can I call transformer as single excited device? Yes, obviously. Why? See, if you take this example, it's a two winding transformer. I'm having two windings here, one winding and the second winding. Okay, So by connecting only one voltage source, okay, EMF is induced here, and because of the same voltage source, okay, let's say this flux will link with this winding. By mutual induction principle, this flux will come from primary winding to secondary winding through transformer core. It links with the secondary winding also. EMF will be induced. That means two windings can be energized by using only one external voltage source. That is it clear? Suppose if I take three windings, yes, there are also three windings can be energized by using only one external voltage source. So what is the reason why I call transformer as single excited device? So by using only one external voltage source, okay, any number of windings can be energized. In this example, two windings. If we take three windings also, yes, three windings can be energized. Energized means what? In three windings, EMF will be induced. In two windings, EMF will be induced because of only one external voltage source. Is it clear? So first point, what I can write here? So in features, first point, tell me, transformer is a single excited device. Those who wants reason, please guys, after writing single excited device, you just start bracket and just write in the bracket which I am just going to say. Okay, please write after writing single excited device in the bracket, you please note down reason if you want in the bracket. Okay, so transformer is single excited device, reason just note down in the bracket. Since by using only one external voltage source, any number of windings can be energized. That is the reason. Okay, any number of windings can be energized. Is it clear? Next guys, second point. Can I call transformer as a constant power device? Yes, just now only I told. Okay, so please note down here, transformer is a constant power device. So please write in bracket, those who wants explanation, you can write in bracket after writing constant power device in bracket. Since input power and output power is the same ideally. Since input power and output power is same ideally. Is it clear? That is the reason why we call transformer as constant power device. Is it clear? Next, third point. Can I call transformer as constant frequency device? Yes or no? Yes. So please let me write here, transformer is a constant frequency device. What is the reason guys? I already told. Suppose if you take this example, so applied voltage source will be having frequency F. Your loads are designed to operate at frequency F. Here primary winding induced EMF E1 is having frequency F. Secondary winding EMF is also having same frequency F. Okay, there is a reason why I can call a transformer as constant frequency device. Please write in bracket after writing constant frequency device in bracket. Since frequency of primary winding EMF, since frequency of primary winding EMF and since frequency of primary winding EMF and secondary winding EMF is same. Is it clear? Right. Next, fourth point. Can I call transformer as constant flux device? Yes. Transformer can be called as constant flux device. Constant flux. I'm just writing pi. Constant flux device. Okay. So very simple. First of all, here, see in future we are going to derive a EMF equation for transformer anyway. But just let me write a EMF equation here for time being. You know, ERMS formula what is that? 4.44 n pi m into f. This is the formula for EMF equation of transformer. See guys, here suppose if you want primary induced EMF primary induced EMF value, you should write here E1 RMS is equals to 4.44. How many number of turns in the primary side? N1. Similarly, if you want if you want secondary winding EMF value, RMS value, E2 RMS is equals to 4.44 N2 pi m into F. This is the RMS EMF values in primary side and secondary side respectively. Is it clear? So here guys, here E1 comma E2 are RMS values, but whereas in this RMS value of EMF equations, flux used is maximum value of flux or peak value of flux. Okay, please try to remember. Anyway, we'll see in derivation there will be having clarity. This pi m is nothing but what? Okay, maximum value of flux, maximum value or peak value of flux, peak value of flux. Generally in transformer, which type of supply we are giving? AC, time varying. Current taking the transformer, AC, time varying. Flux produced in transformer, AC, time varying. Like this. See, pi equal to pi m sin omega t. This is what I can say. Flux produced in transformer core. This is what I can say, time variant flux or AC flux. In this pi equal to pi m sin omega t, this pi m is what? Maximum value of flux or peak value flux. This pi m I'm just I'll get in this RMS value of EMF equations. This derivation we'll see in future, no problem. Here why we called transformer as a constant flux device means very simple. See guys, irrespective of load changes, that means if load increases or reduces, whatever, irrespective of load changes, the magnitude of maximum value of flux means pi m, magnitude of maximum value of flux will be maintained constant. Okay, that is the reason why we call the transformer as constant flux device. Please remember, what is the reason? The magnitude of maximum value of flux is maintained constant irrespective of load changes. That's why we can call transformer as constant flux device. Is it clear? So please, those who want explanation, you can write after writing constant flux device in bracket, just note down in bracket, since the magnitude of maximum value of core flux, magnitude of maximum value of core flux is maintained constant, irrespective of load changes, Is it clear? Right. Next, fifth point. Can I call transformer as energy conversion device? Transformer can be called as energy conversion device. Yes or no? Energy conversion device. But here small adjustment is very important. Whatever I am just writing in the bracket, that is very important. So transformer can be called as energy conversion device, okay, but internally only, not externally. So let me write here, internally only, not externally guys, internally only. What is the reason? See, externally if you see, for this transformer, what is the input energy? Electrical energy. What is output energy? Once again electrical. Since output energy and input energy is same, nothing but electrical energy only, okay, externally we cannot call transformer as energy conversion device, but whereas internally you can call. How? See, input is what? Electrical energy, voltage source is converted into, pi means what? Magnetic energy. Once again magnetic energy is converted into electrical energy. Is it clear? Therefore internally it's energy conversion device, but externally we cannot call transformer as energy conversion device. Reason is very simple, since output and input both are electrical. Okay, so please, those who want explanation after writing fifth point, energy conversion device internally, so please write in bracket. Externally transformer cannot be called as externally, transformer cannot be called as energy conversion device. Externally, transformer cannot be called as energy conversion device because input and output both are electrical, right? Next, can I call transformer as phase shifting device? Yes, we can call transformer as a phase shifting device. What is the reason? Very simple. See, we'll discuss in future of vector diagrams topic. There you can conclude. See, if we discuss vector diagrams, there will be having one conclusion. What is that? So, from input side to output side, we will get 180 degrees phase displacement. Since transformer offers 180 degrees phase displacement from input side to output side, okay, transformer can be called as phase shifting device. So the device which offers 180 degrees phase displacement from input side to output side, that device can be called as phase shifting device. Yes, since the transformer is offering 180 degrees phase displacement from input side to output side, I can call transformer as phase shifting device. So that will come in vector diagrams. In future we will discuss that. Okay, no problem. So after writing sixth point, phase shifting device, you just write in bracket. Since I'm just giving reason why I call transformer as phase shifting device, you please write in bracket. Since transformer offers 180 degrees phase displacement from input side to output side, Next point, can I call transformer as coupled circuit? Yes, obviously. What is the reason? Transformer can be called as coupled circuit. What is the reason? Very simple. See guys, if you see here in this two winding transformer, this primary winding and secondary winding, or I can say this winding and this winding, are electrically isolated. Okay, but magnetically coupled. Because see, whenever voltage is connected, it will take some current. So flux is produced in transformer core, it links with the primary winding, EMF is induced. Same flux will go from primary winding to secondary winding through transformer core by mutual induction. It links with the secondary winding. Okay, so EMF will be induced. That means these two windings are magnetically coupled but electrically isolated. That's why we can call transformer as a coupled circuit. Okay, so please guys, after writing a seventh point coupled circuit, in bracket just note down reason in bracket. Since in transformer windings are electrically isolated but magnetically coupled. Is it clear? But magnetically coupled. Next point, can I call transformer as negative feedback circuit? Yes, we can call transformer as a negative feedback circuit. What is the reason? Simple, because of Lenz's law. So this Lenz's law will be clearly explaining in future videos. So we'll discuss how example why we are calling transformer negative feedback circuit. Okay, what about Lenz's law, how effect is opposing the change in cause, all those things we'll discuss in coming videos. Okay, simply note down transformer is a negative feedback circuit because of Lenz's law. That's it. Okay, because of Lenz's law. So this is about features of transformers. Next one, working principle of transformer. Okay, so tell me working principle of transformer. Tell me here, what is the working principle of transformer? Very simple. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction or simply mutual induction. Okay, so let me write here. Faraday's law of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction or mutual induction So I already explained. Anyway, let us see once again. If we connect a time variant voltage source, current taken by the transformer is time variant, flux produced in transformer core is time variant. It links with the primary winding. Okay, primary winding has number of turns N1. So in primary winding, E1 proportional to rate of change of flux is d by dt of how many number of turns in primary side? N1 core flux. I can take pi. So E1 proportional to d by dt of N1 into pi. Rate of change of flux linkage, here it is possible. How can you say that it is possible? Because pi is time variant. So whenever N1 pi into pi, N1 pi is time variant, rate of change of flux linkage will be possible. EMF will be induced in primary winding. Okay. Then same flux will go from primary winding to secondary winding through transformer core. Okay, through transformer core. Very simple. Because you know one formula is there. You might have known a very simple formula. Flux is equals to MMF by reluctance. MMF by reluctance. One formula is there. Just like current equal to EMF by resistance. You know this formula, right? Very simple formula. Okay. If you see this in magnetic terms, this is the formula. In electrical terms, this is the formula. So I mean, flux is analogous to current. MMF is analogous to EMF. Reluctance is analogous to resistance. Okay. That means just like current always passes through low resistance, flux always passes through low reluctance. Here transformer core is made up of ferromagnetic material. We'll discuss anyway in future. Transformer core separate one topic is there. There we'll discuss. Transformer core is made up of a material whose reluctance is less. Okay. So whose reluctance is less. Okay. Therefore, obviously, one more formula I can see. Reluctance can be represented with S like that. Yes. I can give one more formula for this reluctance. Reluctance is equals to L by A mu naught mu R. Don't confuse. These things will come in future videos. But I am just simply saying. Okay. So current is flux is analogous to current. MMF is analogous to EMF. Reluctance analogous to resistance. Like current always passes low resistance. Flux always passes through low reluctance. That means transformer core is made up of a material whose reluctance should be less. Is it clear? Reluctance less means what about this mu r means what here? Mu r means what? Relative permeability. Permeability means what? The ability to allow flux from primary side to secondary side. So from here to here flux has to pass, no? It has to pass from primary winding to secondary winding. Yes or no? Therefore, so permeability should be more or should be less for a transformer? Tell me. For a transformer, permeability should be more or less? So permeability always should be more. Permeability definition is what? Ability to allow magnetic field, ability to allow flux from primary side to secondary side is called permeability. If it is more, then only reluctance will be less. Then only, if reluctance is less, then only flux will be more. Is it clear? Therefore, transformer core should be made up of a material whose reluctance value should be less, permeability value should be more. Is it clear? Now, anyway, let us see this MMF is what here? Number of turns into current. Okay, number of turns into current. Okay, number of turns into current. Okay, and what about in this reluctance formula? L by A mu naught mu r means, L means what, guys? L means what? Length of the path of your flux. Okay, see like this. From here, flux is starting like this, no? Flux is starting like this, it is going like this, it is going like this. This entire length can be called as L. L means what? Length of the path of flux, I can say. Okay, okay, is it clear? Next, A means what? cross sectional area of transformer core. Suppose if you take this portion, if all legs are uniform, so this much, if you take this much cross sectional area, so A means what? A cross sectional area of your transformer core. Okay, don't worry, in the first class itself don't confuse with all those things, it will come in future. Just I explained because pi always, flux always passes low reluctance. Reluctance low means permeability should be more. Transformer core, okay, transformer core should be made up of material whose reluctance value should be less and permeability value should be more. Is it clear? And in this reluctance formula, L means I told length of the path of your flux, A means cross sectional area of transformer core, mu naught means absolute permeability, mu r means what? A relative permeability. Those things we will discuss in future, don't worry. Right, next here, that what I am saying, mutual induction principle means after connecting voltage source, time varying voltage source, it will take time varying current. Because of time varying current, so flux produced in transformer core is time varying. So this links with the primary winding. So here EMF will be induced because E1 proportional to d by dt of N1 into pi. So pi is time variant, N1 pi will be time variant, rate of change of flux links will be possible, EMF will be induced. Is it clear? Then the same flux will go from primary side to secondary side through transformer core. It links with the secondary winding. Please try to understand. Same flux will go from primary side to secondary side through transformer core by mutual induction. By mutual induction, it links with the secondary winding. Secondary winding has number of turns N2. Here also EMF will be induced because E2 proportional to rate of change of d by dt of N2 into pi. Pi is core flux, so it's a time varying. N2 pi will be time varying. Rate of change of flux linkage will be possible. EMF will be induced in a secondary winding also. Is it clear? So like this, EMF will be induced in the primary winding and the secondary winding also. Both E1 comma E2 are corresponding to same flux only, core flux only. E1 comma E2 corresponding to same flux, core flux only. Okay, but what is the difference? E1 4.44 N1 pi mdf. Here also E2 means 4.44 N2 pi mdf. It simply varies with the number of turns. Primary winding has a number of turns N1, that's why I kept N1 here. Secondary winding having number of turns N2, that's why I simply kept N2 here. Okay, right. This is about working principle. So tell me guys, what is the working principle of transformer? Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction or mutual induction. Okay, right. Thank you.